I just got a package in the mail, and it consists of 30 fig trees. So I went online just to figure out what I need to do to make sure that these cuttings propagate properly. Well, there's multiple ways of doing it. So instead of just doing it one way and then possibly not having it work, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try both ways. Now, one way is to stick it right in dirt with a little root hormone, which I'll show you in a second. And then the second way is to wrap it in a paper towel and let it sit until it gets roots. It needs to sit in a warm place. All of the videos or information that I did read or watch, they did say to make sure that each cutting is rinsed off so that way no fungus or anything like that occurs. So that's what I'm going to do, or that's what I've been doing. It's been soaking in this water to get any of the bacteria off and just to make sure that the roots or the clippings are moist and can root properly. First, we will try the bag method. One important step is going to be to make sure that the tools that you're using are clean. You don't want to spread around fungus or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover this in some alcohol and make sure it is nice and clean before I touch it to any of these cuttings. I also seen people doing was these little nodules that are on here, they were basically just shaving them off because I guess that's where you're gonna get some of this growth from. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to give this cutting a fresh edge so that way it can start rooting. If I can do it without cutting my finger off here. Probably not the proper way to do it. I've also seen how they basically slice down the sides to give it a rooting area as well. So that's what I'm going to do. Start off by doing the bag version first. And this seems to be like how you would do a seed into the bag with the paper towel. Nothing special, just wrapping it up and letting it be nice and moist. And make sure you stick around to the end because I will have which one worked better for you. So definitely stick around because I would say in about 2 weeks I will have the answer to this experiment. So I'm just covering the bottom area in which I want it to root. So that's what I'm doing right now. Not too tight, giving it enough room to breathe and work, okay? So that's gonna go into the bag for that type of fig. Alright, so that is bag way. Now we'll go over to the dirt way. Okay, so once you are done putting your little marks on the cutting, then you're going to want to just dip it right into your root hormone. So what I already previously did is I am using these cups. Now the reason why I'm using these cups is so I can keep an eye on the root growth. Being that they are clear, I'll be able to see if the roots are growing. Now they did state that sometimes when the cutting starts to grow and to root, you might have growth at the top, but actually no roots down below. Or vice versa. You might have roots going on down below, but no growth up top, and you might think that it's dead, but it's not. It's just growing under the surface, and you don't know because you can't see the roots. So at least with a cup like this, I'll be able to keep an eye on the root growth, and then once it actually starts rooting, I'll be able to transplant it in a bigger pot. So that's what I'm going with, is these cups. Cost me like nearly nothing. And I'm going to keep them in this container, that way I can make sure there's a little bit of water on the bottom, and that way the roots can actually get the drink of water that it needs if it becomes a little drier than it wants to be. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to stick a hole right down into this cup, because I don't want to just push the stick down into the dirt and then have all the root hormone come off. So I'm just going to stick it down in the hole that I just made, and then I'm just going to cover it up. There's that. And then I have the cups labeled, so later on I'll know exactly what fig it is. I won't make you come along and go through every single one of these with me. Obviously it's a redundant thing. I'm going to continue to do the bag method and continue to do the dirt method through all 36 of these. So stick around, because in a couple weeks, just a couple moments, YouTube time, I'm going to show you the results to this experiment. What worked better? You'll find out in just a couple moments. Okay guys, so it's been about 2 weeks now, like 20 seconds your time. You all have it easy. I had to sit here and wait for it. So we did the experiment with the ones in the bag and the ones in the cup. I feel like they both did really well. As you can see on this one, so you can see all the roots going around, so you can tell it's definitely alive. It doesn't have any leaf up above, so that's exactly why we put it in these type of cups. So we can tell that it actually has some activity going on, but if it was in a normal pot, I would have never seen all these roots going on, and I wouldn't have even thought that this was alive. But because of the cup, I'm able to see it's got roots, it's starting to wake up, and it's time to plant in an actual pot. Just put the cup in there, make sure the dirt's all the way around, and it keeps that hole in the center, so it'll go in pretty easily. So as you can see, there's a hole right there. I'm just gonna flop it right on in there. That way it can grow into its new home. So that one's good. And as far as these guys, they're taken right off. So is the bag method better? Maybe. It definitely throws off rootage and leaves, which is a little weird because it's got rooting coming off where the leaves are coming off. So I got roots coming out on both sides. So I guess I could probably cut it in half and plant it. Maybe not. I don't want to screw this experiment up. But yeah, so these guys need to be put in dirt. And yeah, they all have serious roots coming out of them. So the bag method's a very good method as well. And obviously with the bag method, you can definitely tell that the roots are growing. You don't have to dig through dirt or anything like that. It's like such an effortless way of doing it. Now, I didn't mention this earlier, but you are going to want to keep these in the dark. I didn't have them in the light or anything like that because the sun's just going to dry everything out. You don't want that. It's really about how much you want to put into it. I mean, the bag method is like no effort at all. I wrapped it with a wet paper towel, stuck it in the bag, have not touched it since. Whereas the ones in the dirt, I have to check to make sure that dirt has got moisture every day. So it's got a little bit more maintenance to it. The bag stuff actually kept its moisture, so I never had to actually add water to it. So I think I'm going to call it with the bag. The bag did better. So if you want a maintenance-free rooting to your cuttings, go with the bag method. You don't have to waste any dirt or anything like that. I'm going to wrap this video up right now. I think you got the gist of it on how they ended up working. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get all of our notifications every time we post a video. Thanks for watching. Bye.